Okay, so picture this. Somewhere in a remote corner of North America, the ground just unleashed this immense power. A geological giant just woke up. But, and this is the crazy part, the story of what happened next, it is absolutely not what you'd expect. So let's dig in to what made this whole thing so strange.
7.0. That's it. That's the number at the very center of this whole story. And I want to be super clear here. This isn't just some minor tremor, right? This is a major seismic event. It's a number that, in the world of geology, demands instant respect. And usually a whole lot of fear.
So what does a 7.0 earthquake really mean? Well, to put it simply, it's the kind of event that can cause widespread, heavy damage. We're talking about the kind of raw force that can literally collapse buildings, tear apart roads. It often comes with a huge human cost. I mean, if this exact same earthquake had hit right under a major city, we'd be talking about a full-blown catastrophe. That's the kind of power we're dealing with here.
But, and here's where the story gets really interesting, that catastrophe we were just talking about, it just didn't happen. And the key to understanding why starts not with the what, but with the where.
The quake's epicenter was right here, in this huge, remote wilderness that sits on the border between Alaska and Canada's Yukon territory. I mean, this is an area that's hundreds of miles from big cities like Juneau or Whitehorse. It's really a land of mountains and glaciers and, well, not much else.
And this table, wow, it really drives that point home, doesn't it? Look at this. The closest community, Yakutat, Alaska, has just over 600 people, and it's still 56 miles away from the epicenter. And then you have Haines Junction, which is even further out at 80 miles. For an earthquake this powerful to hit, you honestly couldn't pick a more empty spot on the map.
So, that old question, right? If a tree falls in the forest, well, if a massive earthquake happens in the middle of nowhere, does it still make a sound? In this case, oh yeah, it absolutely did. The energy that was released was just way too big to go unnoticed, even from super far away.
You can just imagine that shaking radiating outwards, kind of like ripples in a pond, traveling for hundreds and hundreds of miles. It's a testament to the raw power that was unleashed deep inside the Earth's crust right at that epicenter.
And people did feel it far and wide. Get this, in Whitehorse, which is a full 155 miles away from the epicenter, the Mounties started getting 911 calls. As Sergeant Callista McLeod said, it definitely was felt. People knew, instantly, that something really big had just gone down. But what did that shaking actually do for the people who felt it? Well, according to seismologist Allison Bird, it wasn't collapsing buildings or anything like that. It was mostly just stuff falling off shelves and walls. And so here's the puzzle, right? We've got this massive earthquake, but on the ground, the effects were surprisingly small. What's going on?
And that brings us right to the heart of this whole thing. It's this paradox, right? An incredibly powerful earthquake that caused almost no harm. It's really a story about some seriously good luck.
So let's just ask the question straight up. How does a magnitude 7.0 earthquake, an event powerful enough to level cities, end up with 0 reported injuries and no major damage? I mean, on the surface, that just sounds impossible, doesn't it?
Well, the answer really boils down to this almost perfect storm of 3 lucky factors. First, that super remote epicenter we've been talking about. Second, the fact that almost nobody lives there, really low population density. And third, and this is a big one, was a huge bit of luck. The quake didn't trigger a tsunami. If it had, it could have sent a destructive wave barreling towards coastal towns.
But listen, just because the main event was over, and thankfully disaster was avoided, that doesn't mean the Earth was done moving. Not by a long shot. The planet still had to, settle itself.
See, a major earthquake like this is a massive adjustment for the planet's crust. It's not just one single violent moment. Nope, it's really the start of a whole process of settling and readjusting. And we call these adjustments aftershocks. They're basically a series of smaller tremors that follow a big one. And yeah, true to form, a bunch of smaller quakes were recorded in the area as the ground settled. It's a totally normal and expected part of the whole process.
And that kind of leaves us with this final thought. This whole event was like a silent giant, a moment of just unbelievable geological power that pretty much passed by without humanity even noticing. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? How many of our planet's most powerful, most dramatic moments do we miss just because no one's around to see them?